What's going on, everybody? So, update on stuff that's been happening. Um, so I got into two life groups through my church. Uh, one's a little more, I want to say calm, but the people in it are, I would like to consider normal folks. Haven't had any like rough turmoil in life. And life seems to be normal for them, I guess I'd say. And then my other group is, a bunch of us recovering addicts, alcoholics, and yeah, the difference between the the chemistry or the environment that's created spiritually through, us getting together, putting God in the middle is like completely different. The group that I'm in with that are like more your average person. It's kind of calm, settling, a little more trying to figure out a word to put to it, but a little more. It's just every normal just comes to mind. Like it's just like basic. There's nothing to get, nothing that really is exciting other than like, putting God in the middle and talking about, stuff that we're going through or facing on our own levels, and whenever we share and stuff, I always hit pretty hard with experiences that I've been through, just to help the other people feel a little more comfortable about the stuff they talk about. Um, and then over on the other pendulum side of the pendulum. I can never get that word right. I'm gonna have to Google that just so I can get it right. But anyhow, with the life group that is recovering addicts and stuff, like we we go all out, man. We're just a rowdy bunch, and it's exciting. Just because, for one, we have multiple topics that we can relate on, and kind of similar struggles that we've gone through, and kind of a little bit of the same testimonies to an extent. Like not everybody's journey is the same. God intervenes in different ways for each people. Um, but yeah, I love meeting with both groups, but that second group I meet with, like it's just I always look forward to it because a lot of things are relatable, and we're just a rowdy bunch, have a good time. We're actually talking about putting together a podcast. I don't know if it's going to happen for sure or not. So, I'll let you know what's going on in the future there. Uh, but yeah, I know it's been a while since I've been on. Things have been like pretty crazy and busy for the most part. However, I have talked myself down to working 10 hours instead of 12 because I was fully indulging myself into work. Like that's like a lot of what I was doing. And I think it's kind of important to have a balance, so that you don't feel like you're just living to work. And that's like something that's been beating me up because I don't know if I brought it up in any of my other videos, but I felt like I didn't have, I feel like I don't have a purpose. Like with the job I'm doing, it's like day in, day out, go in, do the same things, face the same problems, just trying to find different solutions, yada yada. Like I just came across a video where a guy was talking about like the same thing. And it's like, yeah, I feel like that. And he was talking about, God God creating us to be creators. And I was like, man, that is good. And that's something like my pastor has talked about, and that's what made me get on to wanting to do the New Year's resolution of adding something new to my life, rather it be a new hobby. My thing was putting out content rather than always watching it. and I still watch it, which is okay to an extent, just as long as I don't overdo it. But it helps give me ideas, maybe refresh some stuff that's been going on in my own mind that, you know, kind of needs a little boost for motivation. And that's what happened tonight. You know, I didn't post for a while, and like after a while of not posting, it's like, well, you know, why do it when I already broke the cycle of not doing it every day like I said I was gonna do? Um, but I just had to get away from that mindset. I have to. Even if it isn't every day, do it when I can. And hopefully it helps somebody out, you know, maybe facing the same things. Um, but yeah, I know that there's been a lot of times where it's just like, I know I'm not meant for this. Like I don't want to say it doesn't feel right, because like feelings are feelings and they constantly change, but there's just this deep internal like voice or spirit, uh whatever you want to call it. It's just like, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be doing something else. And I think that was making me depressed because I wasn't listening to it. I wasn't doing anything with it. All I was doing was working harder for another company, for somebody else, you know, helping them be successful, you know. And I'm going to keep doing that for, you know, not as long as I can, but until something changes. So going back to changing, I recently had my PCP called it a bulging disc in my back. And I know in my previous videos I was talking about my body breaking down, you know, and I don't want to do the physical labor for too much longer in my life, because like my body's not really going to be able to tolerate it. So something happened, not that it was at work, but you know, it was outside of work, and then I can't work because they don't have light duty for me. So, you know, I'm just going through the medical process of that and doing what I can to still make an income. And it's still a little scary because like I built my life on my income, which is not a smart thing to do. You know, that's a whole nother story. I don't know if I want to get into it right now, but I guess I will. I'll tap into it. So like growing up, I grew up poor. Never thought I'd be where I am now with making money. Not that it's like super good, but it's definitely better than what I thought, like way better than what I thought I'd do, you know, after high school and stuff. So yeah, I started spending, you know, because I never had nice things, never could own them, afford them. And when I was finally able to, I went a little overboard. So I built myself financially to where I'm working to pay my stuff. Slowly getting it knocked down, but it is coming around. So it's a little scary that if like something happens to me, physically, like health wise, like this bulging disc in my back, like I'm taking a hit financially. Like I can't even go into work just to make my normal income because I am needed physically for labor, and I can't do that. So mind, what I've been kind of floating with is wanting to get into sales and stuff like that, just so it's not hard on my body. You know, I think I am good with people. I like talking to people, especially after that little wall's knocked down, because I think a good bit of us can carry that, where it's like just not as open or verbal, communicative. I don't, whatever word that is. My dictionary's not really big. But anyhow, with how we can be shy around people at first. So it's like I've had people tell me that I could be good at sales. I've had people tell me that I could be good at acting too, which was a dream of mine being young. But then like as I grew up and realized what goes on in that industry, I don't want to be any part of it. But there's a lot of things I wanted to be growing up because just wasn't really sure. uh, but there's a big one that has an impact on my life. That's another story I could talk about in the future. But yeah, so I was like, all right, let's about sales is a lot of them are just based off commission, which is pretty scary because you don't know when you're getting income. It's just really up in the air. But people that are in it always seem to tend to do good. So, and I don't know if I'm good at it or not. So I've been trying to face that fear, reaching out, putting my resume out there. And while I've been down because of this disc, I've been taking on interviews for that. And some of them are just solely commission. Some of them have a little tiny base pay with uncapped commission. So like I'm sorting through stuff to see what's out there, what kind of options there are. They all have different benefits. Some of them don't have any benefits because you're supposed to be like making good money. And that's kind of scary being that my body's falling apart. So, there's a lot of variables that play into the leap from physical labor to communication and sales, pretty much. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I've had a few interviews, so we'll see if something hits. So yeah, I'm down for like 2 weeks out of work. Just getting like a little disability, or I guess it's sick pay. But yeah, like I said, it's not enough to cover bills. Good thing that I put like some money away and stuff like that. So worst comes to worst, I'll be all right, And that's always important, just to make sure that you have a little money tucked away for the unknown of what's going to happen, because you just never know what's going to happen in life. It's life. So yeah, trying to make a shift in the work field to get away from physical labor. So that's where I'm at now. But yeah, life it's a journey, and it can be fun, or it could be, the opposite of fun. It has its ups and downs, but one thing is if you always have hope and continue to carry faith, even though sometimes it's hard, everything does work out in the end. Might not be the way that we want it to, but it does work out, because it's his plan, not ours. We're the characters in his story. So we sometimes whenever it feels like things aren't going right and everything's against you, there's always a blessing and a miracle at the end of it. So as long as we play our part and just keep putting one foot in front of the other, God's got the final result on that. And yeah, I don't know if that made sense to some people or not. I can tend to jump around a little bit, but I have a brain that goes a million miles an hour, so I try to stay on a certain topic, but then like while I'm talking, some things like bing, so then I'll travel down that trail a little bit. But I try to stay right back on the topic that I was originally talking about. But anyhow, guys, I just wanted to share that, coming across somebody else's content, talking about the same thing that I was like struggling with feeling like there's more to life than what I'm doing. And I fully believe it 100% that if you have that burning desire in you to do something better, do something more, like that's that's God telling you, like, hey, I got bigger plans for you. So don't stay complacent here where you're at. If you gotta, do it for however long you gotta do it for, just don't stay settled in. And it's crazy though, because as long as you start like taking little baby steps, like bigger things start to snowball off that. And it is true. Crazy true. In my case, there's been a lot of times where I've been forced to have to make a change because like I was talking about, being afraid of the whole commission thing and living off a commission. Like, I wouldn't make the jump because, like, what if I don't make enough money to pay my bills or whatever? So, um, so some things are happening to where I gotta, like, really push myself to go and set up interviews and make that decision because, like, I was not making that decision. I was settling in my complacency, comfortability, I guess, being comfortable for the most part. Like, bills are paid, can save a little money, but like I said, I've always had that yearning. Like, there's got to be more of the life than just this, and there is. I have other business ideas too that I've been sitting on for a long time. There's been a lot of stuff that I've been pushing off just to chase money, chase this goal of climbing up the ladder in a corporation. And, that feeling of wanting to do more, there's got to be more of the life than this. I feel like there's a better purpose for me here. Just kept festering. So, things are shifting. So I'm making decisions. And taking action on stuff that I have to take action on. So, yeah, just wanted to share a little bit with you guys. I know it's been a while since I've been on here, but stay hopeful. Keep having faith, put God first, and yeah, taking action, doing what you got to do, even though it can be scary. God's got the rest, man. So, love y'all. Have a good one.